Yeah. uh-huh. Yeah. Shit. Grams leaders CC's, pounds. Close cash, close call, close encounter, close up, pounds up, leaders up, grams, get your dose up, cut this up, post up, and get dosed up. This for them voted like the moving, make the most of. Monday night at 8, I can't wait to set you straight. These opinions and debates, for them folk that can't relate. I gotta elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that deaf, dumb, and blind. And I ain't hard to find, you can catch me in those trenches. I do the groundwork and I ain't waiting on no sense. I be touching on them topics politicians fail to mention. And I don't vote for nobody that ain't got good intentions. I'm relentless for my people and I'm here to make a change. I got that true serum hooked directly to your vein. Hey, this is for my people, tune in, catch it close up, close up, close up, a close up, grams of it, 2 liters of it, close up, pounds of it. Yeah. Pounds of it, yeah, grams of it, liters of pounds, get your dose up, dose up, dose up, dose up, dose up,
Okay. Oh, we a little quiet in the background. No bombs, no nothing like that. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Okay. There we go. All right, so it's 8 o'clock. I'm Shooter, aka Dose. That's Lab. That's partner in crime right there. And we right back at you with Dose stuff. All right, so I was talking, man, just talking to my man Lab, actually offline, definitely about some things that I'm gonna bring up with y'all. But as far as the weekend recap, man, it was very, very interesting. Besides the fact that I got my workout on, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm still doing that. Once again, that Super Bowl challenge, it keeps going. It's gonna obviously go football season coming up soon anyway for y'all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? OKC done won that thing last night, so y'all ain't got no more hoops really. The draft coming up, I guess, but
Right.
you know, with the exception, like I said, of me getting to it with that iron, you know, I saw one of my partners, man, at this building that I usually go to in the morning time. And you know, I saw like some blood on the ground and the glass to the door gone. So I was like, damn, you know, it looked like somebody was leaking the other day, you know.
Right.
And this man was like, yeah, my brother got touched up.
Uh-huh.
But he's straight, obviously, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking,
Right.
I guess, because he ain't say nothing like, he ain't crying or like nothing, you know, so nothing, say nothing for the worst. And then I can remember like thinking, man, like who could that really be? And I know of all the people that I've seen up there before, and I've actually mentioned this, you know what I'm saying, before on here.
Right.
Like it just looked like they got anger and stress in their system. They be strapped up, you know what I'm saying, ready for whatever. And they don't really have good resolution skills. So it was just one person, you know what I'm saying, that definitely stood out.
Right.
And I saw him, you know what I'm saying, peel off when there was a raid coming, obviously. And then when he came back, I noticed why. But anyway, long story short, it was him.
Okay.
And so I'm like, damn, okay. This dude actually comes right back up. And I'm looking at him, you know what I'm saying, in the hospital gown with his bandage on. So I'm like, damn, like, bro, you ain't even, you know what I'm saying, really giving yourself time to heal.
Right. You just coming on out here in the street.
I know, man. Your shit barely even dry on the concrete. And you right back at it. And you hostile. So I'm like, you know, I mean, I'm gonna pray for Buddy.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? His brother don't seem to be that rah-rah. He done been in an incident before, but it was at least with hands.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I mean, that make a little bit more sense. It looked like ain't no retaliation going on with that. But with other brother, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling what's up now because you got touched up.
Right.
All right, so enough about
I
that.
asked you when you told me these stories. I'll be asking you, what gas station are you going to have all this action?
This be on MLK. Bro.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I went to the park though. All right, and so when I went to the park, I went with my partner and I was like, look, man, we gonna run a routine real quick
Mm-hmm.
to get prepared. So if we decide to start filming up here, you know what I'm saying, with our routine, we kind of know what the setup is like and what we're gonna do.
Okay.
So we end up doing the routine.
Okay.
Weight vest, jog, walk around the track for 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
After that, bust out the routine. So I'm going back and forth to the trunk because I don't want to bring all the weights out at once.
Right.
And I'm bringing out, you know what I'm saying, a 45 plate. Then I'm bringing out like 30 dumbbells,
Mhm.
30-pound dumbbells, 25-pound dumbbells. Bringing out 15s for certain things, you know what I'm saying. All right, so when we finally get finished, we did some push-ups and stuff on the little machines and stuff that they had out there at the
Okay.
park. And we getting ready to leave. We hear some, hey, yo, how often y'all do this?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, bro, it pretty much like the first time, but this ain't, you know, we do this. But
Mm-hmm.
I said we probably gonna start doing it a little bit more often and film it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, like, bro was already interested and was like he said he might not be able to do what we doing, but he wanted to, you know what I'm saying?
Let's give it a try.
Exactly. So
you motivated somebody else to try to get to be a better them, huh?
exactly.
Which
Not-
is the topic of the show.
Yeah.
How to be a better
How to
you.
become a better you.
Right.
But not only that, I mean, it's you were saying how do I have to sometimes like invite people or
Mhm.
try to convince people to work out or
Right.
keep up with people? And I'm like, nah, if you just do you, you know what I'm saying, and they
Mhm.
got it in them, it's gonna attract that.
Okay.
All right. On another note, yeah. So I was telling you, on my way to you, man, like, okay, I see APD on the side
Mm-hmm.
of the highway. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Before you get on the expressway,
Okay.
and it's a dude with a sign or whatever. He look drunk, inebriated.
Okay.
So APD make Buddy move on.
Okay.
No
He didn't want him to
citation.
listen
Yeah,
on
he
that
ain't want
corner.
no parts of that.
Okay.
But, so Buddy walks off. So now I see this. I'm already up at the light. I pull up to the light anyway with him on the side because I was thinking the light may change and you still gonna be dealing with Buddy.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that didn't happen. So now I'm like, okay, he finna get back in the vehicle. Now I'm alert like mug. You know what I'm saying? Windows rolled up, music down, AC on, just paying attention to what he got going on. So I figured, right? I say he gonna go ahead and hit his lights a little bit, but not no siren, and pull in front of me as soon as the light is green.
Right.
So I'm gonna give him that. Go ahead, get in front of me all day. You finna lead the way now, which is exactly what he did.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now when he gets to another light, I'm behind him. Cool, whatever. That light turn, boom, he gone. It's a car in front of him that veers to the left, like gets in the left lane kind of quickly, and then slows up.
Okay.
So the officers just keep going. So I'm behind it, so I keep going. I'm like, yeah, I'm finna follow you
Right.
and do the speed you doing
Right.
till I get close to you, whatever.
Okay.
All right, so next thing you know, man, this dude kind of like starts slowing up. And I kind of like see him looking at me in his rear view because I'm looking, you know, at him. And so, man, he pulls over to the right
Uh-huh.
in the right turning lane. So I'm thinking, okay, he finna whip in and turn in or something or get behind me. And that's exactly what he did. He got behind me.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, really, if he pulled me over, I won't be doing this podcast today.
Right.
But I'm like, I'm used to this. This has
Right.
happened before. So next thing you know, I'm like, all right, I don't care what you do. I'm not finna go. I'm finna hit you with that 47 and that 45. So you can try to get
jerking
all
the
up
wheel,
on me.
no nothing.
I'm not finna go no 53, none of that.
Right,
none of that.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Or 50 something. So you can just put your lights on or something to think I'm trying to get away from you.
Right.
Meanwhile, he all up in me, like follow me for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like really close up in my grill, and I'm looking at him in the rear view, looking at me.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm kind of smirking or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, here we go. Next thing you know, I guess he was just waiting for that left lane to clear because he whipped from around me, and I look to the left, and I'm looking at him hit his lights, and he getting that car that he originally wanted to get from way back that slowed up and let him go ahead as they were pulling into the apartments.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying. That's
So
fair
he
game.
used you
right
as a decoy.
Yeah, but
Oh,
hey,
okay.
man, I don't really like being no decoy now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, do that with somebody else, man. Don't get behind me like that and just,
He
you
wanted to see
know.
what you was gonna do. Was he gonna make you nervous too? Then he had 2 for 1.
I mean, nah, you ain't finna get no 2 for 1. I mean, you never let them see you sweat. I
Right,
don't care
right.
what it is. I'm like, hey, we finna 47 it on out and keep playing with me. I'm gonna go down to 45. I won't do 43 because you might get me on that.
Right,
But hey, we gonna 47 it on out.
right,
And
right.
so, like I said, he got a little bit tired of me and whooped around, and that was that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I'm saying? Back to becoming a better you.
You okay? That was the weekend recap.
Yeah, that was the weekend review. How was your weekend, by the way? Before
Oh,
we
it was.
start?
I was busy. I DJ'd a party on Saturday, family reunion, which was pretty cool. It was a pretty nice family. I never really met them. I met them that night, but I met the one person who hired me to do the DJing. But pretty cool family.
Okay.
A lot of talent in the room. We had kind of a impromptu talent show. You know, everybody done wrote some. Everybody, artists and stuff. So we had an impromptu talent show. It was a good little party. You know, it was a good thing to see so many black folks in the room and celebrate each other and trying to make sure that they know who family is before it's too late. So I loved it.
And I kind of like got to this topic because we discussed how like black women were perceived with the stereotypes and stuff like that through media. Then we discussed how we as men were perceived, how we act, things like that. And then you said something that kind of like made a lot of sense. And you were like, at some point, you know, you have to make yourself happy or take care of yourself, put yourself as a priority.
Right.
And when you do that, you definitely become better. Or take the time to make yourself become better. Assess yourself first. You know what I'm saying? See what your strengths are, and continue those.
Right.
See what your weaknesses may be too, and be honest with yourself. A lot of times, people don't even know they have weaknesses or think they have weaknesses. Man. You know what I'm saying? Just their ego takes over, or maybe the way that they live, the way that they make money. You know, or people just automatically just give them respect because of what the materials that they have,
or who they was or what they used to be, stuff of that nature. Sometimes people give them respect. One of the things I was talking about when we talked about the other 2 Mondays when we were culminating to this current topic was the fact that when you put yourself first, and when you learn how to say no to a degree to where people understand that you're really not gonna do whatever you don't want to do, it sometimes it takes a lot of stresses off you, and sometimes it creates a little friction too. But you got to stand fast to that. You have to. You can't be shaky. You can't be your foundation on you being first has to be solid.
It's a lesson of understanding and learning who you are now.
Right.
All the responsibilities are on you. When you definitely, you know what I'm saying, when you're trying to build. Right. And that's what I should have been learning this, you know what I'm saying, through all the experiences. But my next few steps, I'm just understanding like, look, whether I tell somebody or not, it's going to be all on me to execute it and do it. Right. So at that point, like you say, step back and handle it. I did say that prioritize the things that make you happy though as well. Right. If going swimming makes you happy, if going to the spa makes you happy, like I was telling you, I bought some shoes, some Cortez that I wanted, you know what I'm saying, to match the other ones that my daughter bought me for Father's Day, because I collect shoes. Right. That's something, you know what I'm saying, it might be materialistic, you know what I'm saying, but it made me happy.
It makes you happy. Exactly. That's your thing. That's what you like to do. And putting you first to get what you like and to do what you need to do if that makes you happy, you should do it, because and it took me to my 50s to learn it. So this ain't something I learned from the beginning. Like I ain't learned this stuff. I didn't learn it till after I got divorced, that, you know, we spent a lot of time trying to make other people better, trying to make sure other people are good, that we don't really focus on ourselves. And that's what anybody, especially when you're in a relationship where you got kids and a wife, or you got a girlfriend and kids and all that stuff, or you got a husband and kid. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, this ain't just a man thing. I'm just saying it from my perspective, but it could be either or. And it kind of just, you always seem to put yourself on the back burner without noticing it. And I'm quite sure everybody feels the same who's been in this type of situation. It's just something you have to learn how to refocus on, I guess, and make yourself a better you. It does make you better. It may seem selfish, but it does make you better.
Well, I can say this, and then I'll get into how happy makes you a better person.
Okay.
I've learned to be happy to give back, or by helping, like I said, you know what I'm saying? Simple things to some maybe complicated things from time to time, but simple, like buying somebody breakfast. Complicated, like helping them solve some life issues or problems with advice, or maybe having to pitch in for them to have rent or car note money for a second or something like that.
Right.
But the happiness is always going to be a thing where you feel good about being happy. When you're happy, it releases certain chemicals in you that make you feel euphoric or great. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep producing that feeling and you'll end up having a glow for yourself. Right. And so that definitely makes you a better person. Makes you feel better. Something that if you continue to keep doing it, then you'll become better by doing it.
That's
you know
true.
What I'm saying? So that's another thing we can get on in, is like creating the positive habits and hobbies. Which I might as well just say, then eliminate your vices if it's a negative. Obviously a vice is negative, but to eliminate them, sometimes you might have to replace them with positive habits or hobbies. But in doing so, you can probably attract others, or you learn something different. You see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
You're always learning something different. You have time to invest in something else. You become better at it. It could be a habit or a skill that you may end up being able to trademark.
Okay.
You know, or it could be a hobby such as exercising, which, you know, definitely has benefits, because that's another thing that I was going to say, that you can definitely do to become a better you. But when you do some of these things, make them a routine.
Right. Okay. I get what you're saying.
Making them a routine is what's going to make you better. And also, the routine is going to require discipline. And discipline on all counts, to me, makes you a better person. Discipline from your parents, discipline from, what up, Ray? I see you. You know what I'm saying? Discipline from maybe like football or something like that. Discipline from the military. What's up, Murphy? Discipline from the job from time to time. You know what I'm saying? Or just everyday routine of getting up and paying your bills. Okay. And handling your responsibilities. But sometimes you may want to look at yourself and see how can you become either better at doing that. And that's when maybe you either save more or get a financial advisor or something, you know what I'm saying? Or compile your bills and stuff like that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying about the financial part, making sure your finances are better for you when you move forward in life. And that can make you better. I believe that can make you better. I believe being smart with finances can make you better, because again, all these things for me, and you tell me what you think, all these things for me are stress relievers. You get what I'm saying? When I think about myself being better, it's relieving stress.
Okay.
Or it's peace.
Achieving where you don't have to worry. Yeah.
Achieving things to where I don't stress about certain things. Now you're going to stress, you're going to stress about some stuff. Yeah. But the more stress that I can alleviate, the better I feel as a person. So that makes me be a better person.
Well, check it out. Like when I said habits and hobbies, sometimes when you're doing a hobby, you may take your mind off of an ailment. Or you may take your mind off of what you have to do coming up that you probably don't necessarily like to do. Right. But you have that pocket of and window of time where you have relieved your stress with these hobbies or these exercises, and that may give you a different thought process and how to step into what you think you didn't like to do and handle it and be about your business. Because sometimes your hobby can be harder than what you got, what you trying to put off.
That's true. That's true.
You know, I always try to look at things from a different perspective from time to time, actually to become better. Because when you do that, like I said, have an open mind when we were offline, but I can say that now, having an open mind produces more options for you, to be honest.
You think so?
Yeah. But if you're willing to, now I didn't say be naive and just willing to do everything and anything, you know what I'm saying? But an open mind with resolve, you know what I'm saying? With you know what you are capable of doing. Like I say, I also on here to become a better person, better you. Set your limitations. Know what you can't do so you don't spend time wasted on that.
Lion Lady Love said that's what these young folks need, a hobby. I believe, Lady Lion Love, Lion Lady Love, I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep changing your name, Pat. I believe that everybody should have a hobby.
Yeah.
That's just my
it takes away
opinion.
From idle time too.
Yeah, I think that everybody should have a hobby, and not a hobby of scrolling on social media.
No.
Something that gets you away from that. Anything. I have hobbies. I have several hobbies, but I just think that a hobby really can calm your mind. It makes you feel better, which makes you a better you.
So when we were offline, we were discussing how setting up multiple achievable goals can make you happy, because if you succeed at something, you feel like you're a better person. And you explained to me that, you know, you recently had to repair your sink and it was a little bit difficult for you. So it was kind of stressful, but all in all, you said you learned something and now you feel like you could take on any kind of sink.
Right.
Which means you are better. You definitely at the skill in fixing sinks.
Right. Yeah. To elaborate on that story, we were talking about offline. I was like, you know, I had to replace the sink, which I've replaced several sinks before. This is not nothing new, but this sink was a little bit more difficult because of the style of sink it was, and the area in which I had to replace it at, there was a little bit less piping and stuff, so you had to cut some stuff and move some stuff around. And of course, I had the lows. I was in the low point, you know, it was a lot of lows before I got to that eventual high of it being completely fixed and not leaking. But I did have to go through that valley before I got to that peak. You get what I'm saying? But once I got to the peak, I kind of felt better, and I was the relief of it not leaking and the relief of it finally being fixed and replaced relieved my stress, and I felt better as a person. You get what I'm saying? So that's how that happened.
Ray said, it's true, hobbies can actually become your job at a point. You know what I'm saying? And he said that's when you've reached the top. So, he's like, okay. And remember when I said also having an open mind and create hobbies, I was telling you that you can actually have a hobby that you can try to become an entrepreneur with. It could be a skill, it could be a craft, it could be a trade. You never know. You know what I'm saying? It's just a hobby. You said it's a hobby, but it could be something that someone else doesn't know how to do. Like, oh, I just do graphic designs as a hobby, or oh, I DJ as a hobby, but I can also make that a business or something similar to that. You know, exercising as a hobby, but now you decide you want to do content with it. Some of these things, you know, might be coming down the pipeline. But back to the like achievable goals though. So the thing about it, the key word is achievable. So you know you're going to be able to achieve this goal and in a certain amount of time, which one will eliminate kind of being anxious, and it'll make you it'll give you anticipation. I'd rather anticipate than be anxious. It's a different thing. Like anxious is kind of worried, or anxiety is you're unsure, but anticipating, it's a thrill in that to know that you can anticipate a short-term goal that you can succeed. And when you do that, you're going to feel like you're better. So that's what I mean by setting the multiple achievable goals, because we all have goals that we've been working on for some years, you know what I'm saying? And still you're a better person for, chasing that goal down. But if you haven't necessarily felt like you've achieved that, then, take a step back. Don't stop, but make yourself, like to say, these little mini small milestones to achieve to make yourself a better person.
Lake Line Love says, I'm a better listener. I'm better at listening and talking. I had to tell my son today, abide by the law, went to court, with him, and they dropped charges on the ticket. Slick says a hobby can help keep these youngins out the streets. Do you believe that?
Yes, it can, but unfortunately, their hobbies are negative. So, like,
Well,
if you
give me an
eliminate
example
vices,
of a negative hobby that a young person may have that you, because I know you be out there a lot of times, and you be
negative hobbies are always standing in one spot, being kind of like obnoxious and hostile, and you have a weapon on you. Just shoot, nowadays folks' hobbies be like seeing who they can intimidate and making music, you know what I'm saying, with negative connotations in it or what they want to do to people.
right.
It's almost like not even a hobby, it's just a lifestyle, a mentality. But
Okay.
That's how I look at it. Sometimes the hobby, it might not even be, it might be a trend. I remember it was a trend to probably like slap somebody's hat off their head or something like that. Just things like that I don't really promote. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that I've had that experience where I went to the hair salon with Slick to get her dreads done, and just the kids just standing out in front of the hair salon with their extendos in their pocket, no motivation to do anything but stand out in front of that hair salon and stand out in front of that little shopping center all day. Like, this was an all day thing.
Yeah.
They may have jumped in the stolen car that they had and went to
breaking their
Chick-fil-A
cars
and came
too.
back.
Yeah.
No, this is a car that they rented that they just kept. So they made a rent to Chick-fil-A, came back, but the whole time it was just pretty much standing in front of that. You get what I'm saying? Like, there was no motivation to do anything else. There was no motivation to try to be better at something or do something. The motivation was to stand out in front of that store, and I thought that was a lost cause.
I mean, well, it's because now so many people are doing it, it has almost become the norm. Or it's like the police ain't gonna waste their time on that until, I guess, the crime is actually committed or something. I don't know, but I will say finding positive friends and finding groups and networks or clubs, that are into what you're into, but like I said, positive, you know what I'm saying, can definitely help you become better. Because like we were saying off air, if you go into a room of certain people, you know what I'm saying, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be the smartest person in the room. You don't want to be. If you are, like you told me, you need to get around some new friends.
Right.
And I say that because if you're around people that you can learn from, you're automatically going to become a better person. If you're around somebody that can help you at what you're doing, you're going to become a better person.
Do you think, Layla says they know right from wrong. Slick says extendos and smoke all day. Do you know? I was going to ask you a question about what you just said. Never mind. What did you just say? I'm sorry. I was trying to read the comments and think at the same time.
Oh no, we were just talking about finding like positive friends and groups and networks and things, and that are into what I'm into or into what you're into, so that you both can encourage each other. Sometimes you might.
That's what I was going to say. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. They actually have to leave from out their neighborhood sometimes, and some people just don't leave from outside their neighborhood to find a different type of friend or a different group of friends or somebody that may like what they like, because within their group and in their neighborhood, they may don't tell people what they like to do because they may think it's silly or weak or whatever. I mean, you get what I'm saying? So.
And that's where you said to do what's best for you, to do what makes you happy, to do what you want to do and like to do, that's positive, is going to make you become better.
Right.
So if you have to leave that environment, I wouldn't want to be around somebody that don't want me to be around people that's going to help me, or be around people that I don't have to be on edge about. I don't have to look over my shoulder about, like, if I drop some money, they'll let me know.
Right.
Or if I leave some money on the table and come back, it's there. You don't really want to be around nobody that you got to make sure when you leave, you taking everything with you. Because by the time you come back from the bathroom, it's going to be somebody said, hey, man, I ain't seen it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now you gotta pat the whole room down, damn near. You
Right,
see what I'm
right.
saying?
Right.
So, yeah, man, find those people to be around that have a positive vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Also, oh yeah, we talked about that one like before, but be able to accept constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Because I look at it like if you can't, then that kind of means what you egotistical to the point where you're never wrong, or you're gonna flip it to it. You can't be the victim,
right?
So I'm like, at some point, just accept the constructive criticism. You'll become a better person. It might be something that you just didn't want to admit that you were weak at.
Yeah, human nature. We don't accept criticism well. We all like to think that we do. Mm-hmm. We all like to say to ourselves,
yeah, clearly.
But we don't.
Well, sometimes it depends on how it's delivered, though.
Delivery can be an issue.
And who it's coming from.
Right.
And what it is. How sensitive is it to you?
Mm-hmm.
But being able to accept it will always make you feel better than having it be a thorn in your side.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've accepted it within yourself anyway. If you're doing it with pride, I would say.
Right.
So if someone say something about it or call you on it, you shouldn't be upset.
Lion Layla says, "I wish my son would be a water boy. He might as well be homeless. We don't tolerate that because these kids." She said that. What is it for these kids to do?
Man, there's plenty things to do.
I think there's some things the kids can do. They just don't want to do them things.
I mean, well, if you look at art or if you look at music, you can play instruments. I mean, if they're physical, they can get into boxing, they can get into football, they can get into sports. They don't even have to even get into any kind of contact. They can do aerobics, they can do weightlifting, they can do body sculpting. If they don't do that, man, they can DJ. You know what I'm saying? They can produce content. They can try to do mini movies, skits.
Right.
I mean, there's so many different things that you can do as an adult. You can do as them. They probably know how to do it better because they grew up off all the cell phones and digital cameras and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they doing some of this anyway, but in a negative way.
That's true. That's true.
There's plenty things, that they can definitely do besides be a corner boy or a water boy. I'm kind of tired of that too. Like pushing up on everybody, you know what I'm saying? But all right, so now changing your eating habits and sleeping patterns can make you a better person or make you feel better. At least you can, definitely that. Like there have been times where I've done this rodeo enough, you know what I'm saying, with this exercising to know if you, let's say, load up on steak, you're going to feel different than if you eating fish or chicken or just vegetables. You see what I'm saying? And fruit. Simple as that. And you're going to pass it differently.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, if you change your eating habits, you may be like, I like feeling like this. You know what I'm saying? If you take sugar out your diet, you may like how you look. Or you may like how you start feeling. You may be like, man, I don't even notice it anymore. If you are always working late or staying up late, you find yourself just channel surfing or on your, you know what I'm saying, streaming for who knows what, and you up at the wee hours, start getting some sleep, go to sleep early and see how you feel. At least try it out, you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't want to do it as a lifestyle change, switch the pattern up for a second, and then if you like it, then you might see how it can make you become better.
Okay.
Getting your rest definitely can, I know, for sure.
I don't think people really realize how eating differently can change how you feel mentally and physically, because these foods have a lot of things in them that we don't necessarily, our body necessarily can't handle. But just the changing of, so like me, I eat stuff still. I'm not gonna say I'm the most healthiest person when it comes to eating, but I don't eat as much sugar as I used to. I done got back a little bit on Red Bull a little bit, but I need to reduce that. But I used to eat a lot of candy and stuff all the time. I didn't stop doing that as much. Now sugar is addictive, so it's a process. But I have been noticing that I changed my stuff up a little bit. I try to make sure I'm not doing as much as I used to do, but it does make me feel a little lighter. Maybe my head a little clearer, and just a little better. Now it's gonna not make me feel extremely better because I haven't changed a lot of things. I've just changed small little bitty things here and there. But I don't think people really realize how much that part of being a better you can make you really feel like a better you by changing your eating habits. You know, we get raised on a lot of this stuff, and it's hard to change, and it's difficult to change.
Yeah.
It's difficult to change your eating habits when you've been raised on it and you've been eating it for 30, 40 years. You get what I'm saying?
Well, fruits and vegetables to me kind of feel refreshing when you eat them. You know, like especially the water fruits, like the melons and the honeydew melons, the cantaloupes. Then when you get the juicy like tangerines and things like that, so or that crisp apple, you know what I'm saying? You bite into it and you know you get the little juice out of it. So I mean, it's all in sometimes how you perceive what you want to intake too. And your taste buds will tell you like that'll make you, it'll trigger happy feelings sometimes, or euphoric. You know,
I like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or almost like how sometimes quenching your thirst with water does for you. You know what I'm saying? It hit the spot, so they say. But
Layla said she loves fruits.
yeah, you know, and also that's what I was gonna say. When people
Slick eat a lot of fruits too. Like she eats a lot of fruit. Like
and when people
more than me.
and when people do simple things like that, like I said, that could be a simple goal to set, like eat some fruits and vegetables every day for 30 days or something. You see what I'm saying? And you know you can achieve that. But it's those things like that that after a while, when you start feeling what they do for you, you become better. Or you know, it's really sometimes what the doctors be recommending. You know, if you do it, you don't necessarily have to, let's say, take a particular medication or something. Then
Right.
you definitely gonna feel better.
Right.
I know. I've seen it. You see what I'm saying? Especially with my elders.
Okay.
You know, like the ones that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to have a goal, or you have to have something to work for. This is something to live for. So in order to, like, let's say, lower the blood pressure or the sugar level, it's like, okay, I got to drink more water and I got to walk. You know what I'm saying? I got to eat less fruit from time to time, but make sure I eat it. When I mean less, meaning like you can't have too much sweet fruit because you don't want to spike it. Okay. But you're still eating fruit and you're eating, you know what I'm saying, vegetables. Then you're cutting off the starches and stuff like that.
Right.
You know.
Layla says pay attention to the for the recalls. Slick said it costs so much to eat better though.
Actually, I mean,
when you compare, they always make the processed stuff a little bit less expensive.
Yeah, but I look. Yeah, you're right. Definitely they do. Yeah, because it's not gonna do anything for you.
Right.
So health is wealth.
Right.
So spend on it. I mean, you know what I'm saying. But my thing is just be careful about how much you buy. Sometimes when you buy your vegetables and stuff, because unless you're trying to freeze them, a lot of times fresh vegetables you have to eat those rather quickly.
You know what I learned? Just while we talk about better, I learned that if you can't get fresh vegetables, frozen vegetables are the best. You know, the canned vegetables are not good for you. They say frozen vegetables are the best because they flash freeze them at the point of picking. So it's like when they pick them and they wash them off, then they freeze them. So all the nutrients and stuff are still inside. It's just they're frozen. Now, I don't know how long that lasts, but that's what I learned, that, you know, frozen vegetables, if you can't get fresh, get the frozen kind.
So I try to get the fresh, because let's say some people leave the frozen in there for like a month.
Yeah.
Now that's like you done had, it's an ice cube. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We got, what is it, turnip flavored ice cubes and shit. So it's soup basically when you make it now. But yeah, another thing.
Oh, line lady stuff. They say they are more ripe after they thaw out too.
I mean, if you want to leave them in there for 2-3 months, I don't know, but I'd rather just take them fresh and washed off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But okay, we're thinking positive now, so go for it. No matter what you feel the results may be, when it's something positive that you want to try and you maybe haven't. Okay. I ain't talking about keep going for it if you done tried it and it's positive, but you never can, you know, it ain't for you. But for sometimes, you know, you put off something that you know you should be doing or you want to try it. You might be good at it or whatever, but I'll wait. I'll wait. You know what I'm saying? Set a deadline and just go for it. Jump out there and do it. And if you continue, you know, or it can become a better person, or at least you have you brought some closure to that thing, which always closure definitely makes people better.
Line Layla, when your mom cans the fruit, is it do you think it tastes better than frozen? I mean, how does it taste to you? Because I've never met anybody who cans fruit and I've tasted it. Have you those?
I remember frozen canned orange juice, and I didn't really like it.
Oh, she mean in the jar, like her mom.
Oh, that's almost like preserving and
like
jelly
preserves
and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, so that did they press it?
I don't
know.
Now
they freezing it because
like,
I'll take that.
What was the process?
Pressing it, cold pressed.
Yeah.
She
said her mom does
fresh. It. Okay, nothing wrong with that, especially.
So she said they grew up eating the peaches and stuff, canned peaches out in the jar. Now that's what you think about that?
I don't really do peaches as much, you know what I'm saying? But this is the peach state, you know. So, but yeah, man, I already know how that goes. Everybody can make a mean peach cobbler, something like that.
Right.
You know. So,
do you think the jarred fruit is better, or canned vegetables? Is the jarred vegetables is better than frozen ones that you get at the store, or because you're preserving them for a little bit of time, so you don't like the problem that you have with fresh vegetables.
Yeah,
you have to eat them
when
so
you
quickly.
Jar stuff, you using fresh things. You're just preserving it with sometimes maybe honey and other things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with things that you can preserve, that's natural. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's almost like salting and jerking. You know what I'm saying? Meat or whatever, if you want to take it that route. But when you getting this frozen processed stuff, you don't know what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's got dye to it and sugars to it and salts to it and chemicals in it that you can't pronounce. So I just, man, give me some I can split open. You know what I'm saying? With some seeds. You know.
Okay, lady, we're not talking about frozen preserves. Line Layla says her mom does canned vegetables and fruits, which is jarred, which we kind of assimilated to preserves. That's what we're talking about. Then we were talking about frozen vegetables being better than canned vegetables that you get at the store. So that's how that all kind of got mixed up. My bad.
I think this is definitely important for becoming a better you, but for mental, you know what I'm saying, your mental health as well. But try to look on the bright side to your life. More often. You know, like everybody goes through things. That's life. That's what that is. Like y'all be saying life be lifing. But look at what you can accomplish. Look at what you have accomplished. Look at what you want to accomplish and feel proud about that. Like, damn, life is already complicated. I'm sure we've achieved a lot and overcome a lot of things that, you know, how just people bother you and you shook it off. People probably didn't want you to get a certain position, a job, and you got it. You worked hard enough, you finally got a decent amount of raise where you can see something, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. Or you got to the top of the game, that however you wanted to do it, you know what I'm saying? But just at some point start, like I say, look at the bright side of things and positive sides of you. Yeah. So that you can become better. Give yourself that chance.
Yeah, I get it. But you remember when we were talking about that movie, Straw?
Oh yeah,
how
it
just rains so much. But some people, sometimes and I get what you're saying. I agree with you. Sometimes it's just raining so much. Maybe not as much as it rained in that movie. I've never seen nobody have that much thunderstorm.
Yeah, exactly. That was a tsunami, man.
Tsunami in one day. On our ass, but some people have so much rain within their life trying to deal with it, so much sadness and unhappiness that sometimes it overpowers them and they can't see the positive things because the negative is just so gripping. You get what I mean?
And let me tell you, okay, so there's a phrase that me and one of my homeboys said we won't be repeating when it comes to ourselves.
Okay.
And that is, how much work can it get?
Or it always can be worse.
Yes, or that too. Or it can't get no worse, can it?
Right.
So here's the thing. Yeah, life gonna throw you major blows and uppercuts, man. But you gotta understand, if you glitch out, now you have that problem and what made you glitch out to deal with when you come back too. And maybe even more depending on what you do when you're in that state of depression or not caring or giving it up one thing that you always can have is there's a way out if you're willing to take the time out to search for it or think about it. All right, I can tell you there were some ways out within that movie.
Mm-hmm.
One, no matter what, you don't unalive your boss.
Right.
Because he was just talking.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? That's one. But other than that, yeah, I get it, man. Like, life be lifing. You know what I'm saying? And you have to understand certain things that you might not be able to control triggered that.
Mm-hmm.
So what you can control, don't bring more drama to your doorstep if you can help it. That's how I look at it. Like I'm already in some shit, so I don't need to create more of it for me. Damn.
Right. Lon Layla says, I don't understand why people are so angry now. I don't think people are more angry. I think it's just more visible. I think people have always been angry. They may be a little bit more angry with prices and trying to make ends meet. But I think with the advent of social media, it's made it more prevalent that we see it now.
I think people are more angry.
You think so?
And I think they're easy to be triggered. And I think that it's a loss of understanding of what personal space is and disrespect is.
Okay. You don't think people understand what disrespect is anymore, or they don't care? Which one?
Like they don't care.
Okay.
But this is what I wanted to tell you. All right. At some point, we got to start looking at it like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what a dog whistle is, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
If you use it, can you really hear it?
Not really.
Okay, but what happened to the dog?
Goes crazy.
Okay, so you don't think there's some frequencies out there that we can't hear, but that can't trigger things for us too?
Of course.
All right. So it's a lot of vibrations that's probably bouncing around nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't on the level and you ain't on the square and you don't have self-control, man, with the program too now, because not only are there vibrations going on and hurts and shit going on in what you're listening to with music, but there's also things going on with what you see in color wise and what you see in, you know what I'm saying, how
hearing
exactly.
What you hear.
It's a lot of that that's programming you. You know what I'm saying, but not me, because you got to understand. See, the difference is with some of us is when you grew up before this, you didn't have this to program.
Right.
So you had a radio. Some people only had the radio to program them.
Or TV.
Then they had the TV to program them.
Right.
Then it became the cable in the radio. You know what I'm saying? Now it's cell phones and all these other things programming people, computers and stuff like that.
Right.
It's gonna be AI at some point. But when you still have your mind and it's clear to the point wherein you don't want to, you know what I'm saying, be manipulated with all of this other stuff, you gain control. And you actually, like, well, to me, I think people can become better if you snap out some of this. Think about it. Like, because I started with talking about the vibrations and things like that.
Right.
So what happens if you stop watching TV or if you cut your cell phone off and don't get on that or the computer, let's say for maybe 2 to 3 weeks? Well, right then and there, you're gonna be detached from that. You definitely ain't gonna know what you're gonna hear what people are saying.
Right.
But think about it; those frequencies ain't gonna be getting to you.
Right. You're not gonna have the frequency of seeing it or hearing it. You may hear it in passing, but you're not glued to it, and it's not changing your vibrations to a negative state.
Yeah, because see, either way it goes, whether they hit you physically with vibrations, they can still get you. If you're looking at this, it's like you're absorbing it.
Line lady said you're gonna be bored. She said so women done been through that concerning the movie. I didn't cry, I just watched once. I don't know if I'm trying to get back to your comments because your comments come in after we've moved on. But I don't think that we said when we talked about the movie, we just don't believe people go through that much in a day. Now things happen. Yeah. I don't think it.
But not all accumulated within 24 hours.
I just don't think that. That's just our opinion. Me and those seem to agree on that 100%. That's just our opinion. But moving on from that, Lady Lila says she can't go without watching TV.
I mean,
it's addictive.
It's like, okay, what do you have to do if you don't?
Right. Read a book.
and I was going to get onto that because you just hit the nail on the head. But before I get to that, I wanted to say, if you take this perspective and outlook, you can definitely become a better person. Oh, Furious done, tuned in. What's up, my man? If you think of it as every mishap is not considered a failure, you can become better. Okay. Because a lot of people get down on themselves from a mistake or something that mishap, and might spiral into depression, or take that mishap and build on it. Next thing you know, it gets bigger and it blows out of control, or now you have a bad habit or a bad hobby or a bad vice, or a misunderstanding that has accumulated or gone on longer than it should have, because you looking at it as maybe failure. And we're talking about positive things. Right. So just like I say, if you look at it as, what, I'm gonna take my licks and keep on going. And I'm not the only one, you know what I'm saying, that's happening. Like I said, look on the bright side of your life. Like, a lot of times, man, people will come up to you and they'll hit you with one problem, right? And you may actually have a decent resolution to that. Right. But then the next thing you know, they got another problem for you. You see what I'm saying? And then by this time, now you like, okay. Then you might be like, well, I can relate to that because, like you say, I just had to fix my sink, or my sink was messed up. Right. Then next thing you know, they got another problem. You see what I'm saying? It's like, don't compete with the issue, with the problems. Actually see your way through it, accept what we're talking about. Right. And don't necessarily, like I say, think of these mishaps as, okay, I gotta one up you. You know what I'm saying? I gotta continuously tell you, you know what I'm saying, what I'm kind of like failing at, or what's wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? And not necessarily listen to what you may have to say that can actually resolve it. Okay. Because like I said at first, you know what I'm saying, sometimes you can actually give a resolution, but once again, like you said, people might not be able to accept the constructive criticism. I get what you're saying. You don't take the time to listen to what other people's got going on because you're so busy giving them all the information about what you got going on, and it seems that your problem is bigger than everyone else's. I get that. Some people just do that just because that's how they do things. You said something a second ago that I kind of wanted to touch base on. I just can't remember what the hell it was. My mind today has not been very good. I usually can remember this stuff, but today I'm slipping. Anyway, keep going. Layla Love says I go listen to music. It helps me mentally. Exactly. And I was going to touch back onto that because you were like, well, what can you do if you don't listen to TV? If you don't watch TV or what, what I'm saying, get on your phone like that. But finding literature or sources and information, you know what I'm saying, about maybe a change that you want to make, or about what you would like to do, or like you say, just reading, man, or those hobbies. Once again, I know, man, I barely have time. I have to allot time for TV. Right. If I'm working, then exercising, then let's say I want to do some music, or I want to think of some clothes, think of some slogans, or should be parenting, you know what I'm saying, talking to my daughter, whatever. I got so many different things to do anyway in life. Really ain't that much time in the day. So, the TV would be the guilty pleasure, or just me kind of like honestly just being lazy, or wanting to be entertained and can't entertain myself. Right. But that phone, you know what I'm saying, is the same as a walking TV. Yeah, but that phone, they made it so convenient for you on purpose. Yeah. They don't want you to put it down. They want you to keep it in your pocket. They can listen to you. You glued to it. It can give all your information out. It can tell people where you are at any second, any time, any place. That's the perfect spy there. And you would carry it in our pocket all the time. But I still said, now, you know what I'm saying, prioritize the things that make you happy and do them. So, to be honest with you, being on this phone don't make me happy. As far as now talking on this podcast does. Right. But like looking at, you know what I'm saying, even looking at and being entertained, like it's not making me happy. I guess it's like you saying, being entertained. Right. So it's almost like this, I guess, would be like a drug to a degree if it doesn't make you happy, but it may satisfy an urge or something.
And that's what it does for me. Like, it don't necessarily make me happy because, to be honest with you, I get very bored with it very quick. But it does satisfy an urge for me to have to try to do something to occupy my mind, because my problem is I'm constantly thinking and I'm constantly trying to figure stuff out. I'm constantly. And to be honest with you, when I'm on social media, sometimes it slows those thought processes down, because like we've talked about before many a times, I can ruin my own day if I constantly think about stuff.
Wow. So
and we talked about this in another show.
You can become a better you if you do some traveling. Don't stay in one place all the time.
Right.
If you can't go abroad, just travel, man. Shit, travel in your own city, your state, travel out of state, whatever you got to do. But see certain things, because you're going to be inquisitive. You know what I'm saying? Different things happen in different environments. Everything isn't the same as your daily routines when you wake up and go see what you see all the time. And you know, if you learn, I'm always like, if you learning from something, you're gonna become a better person. I mentioned this like something that makes me happy, but help others, you know, especially where you may excel at or you're strong at, if they want to accept it. Right. You know, a lot of times it's getting to the point now where people don't even want to accept help sometimes, man.
That's true.
Either they don't want it from you, or they don't want to acknowledge they need it, or they want money rather than the help or something similar to that. And hey, man, for them, I could just say, just watch them, because there's always somebody in need that will accept.
Most definitely. Lion Layla says, I write also, I got a dog now. Slick says, do you think, well, we'll come back to that. Slick says, if you forget your phone at home or on your way to work, do you go back to get it?
No. And people make you feel like apprehensive because of them trying to reach you. It's not you. Right. You be like, people be panicking because it's basically like you thinking of everything you're going to miss. I could care less about the entertainment part of the phone. It's just about business. You see what I'm saying? So, and the funny thing is, I've had the most peace when my phone was just broke and nothing I could do with it. I can't see the screen. I can't answer it. I can't text. I can't do nothing. Right. But then I felt like, damn, I can't pay no bills either. Right. Unless I actually go to where I need to go to or go online from a computer. You see what I'm saying? But this easy access right here when you around with it, you know what I'm saying? Now I got to pull out the plastic rather than tap my phone and things like that. I wouldn't be able to go live like this. You see what I'm saying? I'd just be doing what you doing. You see, if my phone was messed up, right, I wouldn't be on my phone right here. But no, man, I mean, embrace it, because it shouldn't be a reason to be so stressed out if you left your phone at home. That
it depends on how far away I am. If I'm too far away to go back, I thug it out. So, but if I'm close enough, if I'm like 2 blocks away, I'm turning around and go get that phone.
Let me tell you how I process this. You said on my way to work, right? Which means I'm on my way to money. So my phone can wait technically, because I'm not finna really leave my place of work or money unless it was an emergency. So really, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm from the old school where a lot of times the phone interrupts me from getting my job done. And I remember working at UPS, you had to put your phone in your locker, so you ain't even had on you anyway, because they didn't want you, you know what I'm saying, taking them phones, and you be like, man, it's my phone or whatever. So now you put your, so it didn't matter if somebody tried to call you or not, like you couldn't do nothing. So, and another thing, like when I work in the IV room, I'm in a pressurized room where it's can't have no microbacteria floating around and stuff like that, so I can't have my cell phone in that. And I'm in the majority of that. Basically, we'll say maybe 7 hours out an 8-hour day. So I ain't got my phone in. So there's pockets of time when I can't even check it anyway. Okay. So I'm kind of trained not to panic if I leave it at home. Oh well, you know what I'm saying. But at some point I gotta go get it because I make money off my phone. So
hold on one second. Layla, she's been a supporter of our podcast and Misfits Radio for a very long time, and she always tunes into the show when she has a moment. I did not know that your husband passed away before Memorial Day. I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
I know you always spoke about him when you were on these podcasts, and I'm sorry to hear that. That is a shocking thing to me. 37 years long marriage, and I'm sure he's going to be greatly missed. Our prayers go up to you. Yeah. If you need anything from us, just let us know. We're not just saying that just to say it.
No, we're not.
Just let us know. We appreciate you always tuning in, and we thank you for the support. And we are very sorry to hear that your husband passed away.
And we appreciate and care and actually care about all our listeners and viewers.
Oh, anyway, yeah, that was a shocking thing. I'm sorry to hear that. She has spoke about her husband many times on this show.
Okay.
On not just this show, but on a lot of our podcasts that we had. And you could tell that she really loved him. I'm just saying this now because love is one of those things that can also, relieve stress. To have somebody that that loves you, to have somebody that that's down for you no matter what.
Make you a better person.
And I could tell that she was down for him. I don't know if I know that he was down for her. I've never even met her, but I could just tell by the way she talked about him that they were one and the same. They were, they stuck together. They were what they called it, Superman and Supergirl or whatever they called it. They was one. Yeah. So anyway, our prayers go up to you. Anyway, move on.
One thing that I've learned not to do, and which is basically, man, just avoid comparing yourself to what others have going on. Now, if you're trying to look at it from a perspective of you want to learn something to what someone has going on, then don't compare yourself. Just get up there and ask. Just try to learn. Be inquisitive about the things. But a lot of times, I say, we sell ourselves a little short because it's always kind of a comparison thing, or well, they doing it, or I got to do, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I said earlier, look at what you have accomplished and look at what you got going on. Look at what you're doing.
Right.
Become better at what you're doing, and they'll possibly be wanting to be like you or do what you're doing. Because like how we started off when I said, man, I brought the weights to the park.
Right.
And I wasn't comparing what everybody else was doing when I was there. I was just looking at the situation of what I wanted to do.
Right.
I did what I had to do. And next thing you know, other people looking at it and they're interested. They kind of want to join in too.
Right.
And I mean, like, sometimes it's just different people, different strokes for different folks. But like I said, do you be confident in doing you and not necessarily compare yourself to what everybody has going on, and you'll become a better person.
That's true. Comparing yourself to others will definitely bring you down.
Well, you're spending time focused on them. You could be time and energy that you could be focused on
you and improving yourself.
Yeah, because see, I'm not watching nobody else work out. I'm watching myself work out.
Yeah, seeing my progress. Right.
That's what I like. So, I had already said like trying to bring closure, but like this is in referring to like to any stagnant or negative relationship. Just finalize that energy, even if you're not going to deal with that person or not, if you can. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times people be like, man, I don't rock with Shawty right there, and it's just negative all around, and you like, man, damn, man, now I can't even be around both of y'all.
Right.
I can't move certain ways because you know what I'm saying, gonna always have a negative vibe for this particular person or this relationship or this situation or this about yourself. You know what I'm saying? When you can bring some closure to it, most of the time it becomes amicably, because if you bring in closure, that means you have to accept something to come to an end.
That's right.
And if you hadn't destroyed anything before that, then the dust will settle at some point. You definitely become a better person. I'm definitely I could say living experience from that, from used to beef with a person that I was working with, and now, you know what I'm saying, we giving each other advice. Like I said, I saved Buddy job. Same dude that would have had my job on the chopping block trying to get me X'd off and fired numerous times. Had me defending my gig numerous times. And the first chance I got, I went to bat for him.
Right.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
had his back because you don't want to get mired in his sadness and strife and negativity. You want to try to be a positive person. That way you get what they say, positive in, positive out.
So I was just gonna say, what you have to understand is sometimes you got to realize this: you actually are powerful with what you do. So imagine if I did try and I actually got him fired. That energy, I made that happen. Now something's gonna happen for me or to me.
Right.
That's negative, regardless of if he deserved it or if he was coming at me, because it didn't work. And even if it do work, if I come back at him in a certain way, something's still going to keep coming from that. So what I ended up doing, I said, you know, if somebody living rent free in your mind all the time, and your blood pressure is boiling every time you see them, but when you're in an environment you can't settle it the way you want to settle it, then you're losing. So the way that you win is coexist. Don't let them get under your skin. If they can't get under your skin, they won't try no more.
That's right.
Nothing works and affects this man. Let me stop being the immature ass.
I believe that.
Yeah.
That is one thing I do believe. Let me ask you something. Give me before we go, you can wait to the end of the show. I just want to say it before I forget.
Yeah.
5 things you think that would make you a better person that someone else can use. We can do it at the end
What
of the
you
show.
say that make me what now?
That you use to make you a better person.
Oh, okay.
That you believe someone else can use. It don't have to be.
Oh,
5.
okay. I got you.
And I'll give 5 things from myself.
Okay.
But we can wait to the end of the show. I just wanted to get it out before I forgot.
All right, damn. A lot of this, I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, is what I would suggest, but do less jumping back and forth. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to changing your mind, and pick that choice or that path and that decision, man, and stick to it and stand on it, because there's gonna have to be some discipline and consistency to become better at whatever it is that you're gonna want to do.
Right.
So best way that I can equate it is when it comes to the exercise, and like I just said, bro, I'm sentenced to life in the gym for building a better body. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like some things you're not gonna get overnight. You're not gonna get it in that 4-month span. You're not gonna get it in the 8-month span. You're not gonna get it in that year.
Right.
And a lot of people can't take that. You see what I'm saying? It's like, well, man, you know what I'm saying? They bounce out of it because they don't want the consistency, the routine, the longevity.
Okay.
I look at it like, okay, like there's no such thing to me as let me try to get this beach body ready or this summer body ready. You don't do nothing all year, but you want to cram something in, you know what I'm saying, in a certain amount of time to do that.
Right.
So like, so what do you want to look like? Do you want to look like that beach body for the rest of your life? Now, some people understand that's what they do. They know they don't want to keep that up, but they know how to look a certain way, man. More power to you if that's what you want to do.
Right.
But if you doing that to look like that but can't keep it up, but wish you could keep it up, then keep it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, there have been plenty of people that go back and forth on certain things that could make themselves better if they, you know what I'm saying, would just stick to it. It's longevity sometimes, man. You know, like I say, the tree ain't gonna sprout no leaves overnight, and it definitely ain't gonna sprout the fruit within 2 months.
That's true.
Of planting the seed. It just ain't gonna work that way.
It takes a while.
So, you know, stick to what you got going on. Oh, now here's something that, believe it or not, man, I find to be rather soothing and definitely can make you feel better. And as we say, feeling better makes you better. Find colors, clothes, and scents that you like, that look good and smell good on you, man. Just like how we said, if frequencies can make you feel a certain way, man, then fragrances can make you feel
a certain way. Okay.
Colors definitely make you feel a certain way or trigger certain things. When you look at it from an economic standpoint, they definitely know what they're doing with all them bright colors and the fruits. I mean, not the fruits at the beginning of the Walmart at the front,
right.
And then at the checkout counters, them bright packaged candies. You see what I'm saying? So colors trigger. You see what I'm saying? And they know that. You know, so put on something that you feel like you look good in, and watch how you look at yourself. If you ever had, somebody say, hey man, you know, you look good in white, or you look good in that color right there. And you probably knew it anyway. But you might just see a certain glow about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh yeah, and accept what you can't change about yourself. Like, I think there's a lot of people that fail in that department. Like, and I don't mean like some things shouldn't be changed. And okay, when you try to change them, it makes it worse. That's what I mean by that.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't look successful in long terms, or it's not healthy when you do it to make that change. You see what I'm saying? That's when I don't think you should. Or if you can't maintain that change, but you went through something to get that change, and you're gonna feel a certain way mentally when it wears off. Okay. So you feel good about yourself when you make these changes, be it physical, be it financially, be it relationship wise or whatever, and you feel even better when you can maintain and then live up to it, right, and keep it going. That's true. So you don't feel good. It becomes like a burden if you can't, or if you got something and you can see, oh, I shouldn't have, and it's too late now, damn near, because it's permanent, or it's a change that takes a lot more time to undo than it did to do. So let's see what else I got there now. Oh yeah, and if there are things about your life that you're ashamed of, then try to fix them. If it's, you know what I'm saying, something that can be fixed. Because a lot of times, some of these things that people are ashamed of might just be something that they shouldn't be doing. Or it might be a vice that they just don't want to say out loud. Some people got some crazy ass shit they need to be changing, you know what I'm saying? Right. But that we all got something we make a change about ourselves. That ain't us. Even though we don't want to admit it. You are so welcome, Lon Layla. We appreciate you as always for tuning in. Again, my condolences to you and your family. Yeah. And don't be in denial about the things that you don't like about yourself that others have observed. So if you notice it about yourself and kind of don't like it, but other folks have noticed it, don't be like, what you talking about? It ain't me. Or now, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not gonna ever admit. You know what? The hardest thing for us to do is to admit our flaws. Don't you think? For some of us, that's the funny thing. If you can't admit it, but your flaws are showing, they're telling on yourself anyway. They're usually, like they be like, hit downs or holler, empty wagon makes a lot of noise. You know what I'm saying? Like, you telling on yourself. You know what I'm saying? But see, that's the thing. Like, don't let your flaw. Tell you thank you. Sometimes, huh? Those she said, told me, tell you thank you. Oh, you're completely and absolutely welcome. You know, try those hard tasks before you talk yourself out. That, you know what? That right there. That's the one right there. Yeah. We don't ever want to do the hard things. We always want to do the easy things first. Man, hard things, you're gonna be better because I look at it like it separates the men from the boys, the pros from the Joes. Like when you do something, you know what I'm saying, that's hard, it's gonna produce, like you say, you've achieved something that's damn near like a goal, right? An obstacle or something, you know. And 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be a positive result. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the hardest challenges in our life, when you come out of them, you are better. You know what I'm saying? Or you've had to adapt to something, and adapting still is better than before you were able to adapt. So also sometimes I'll be like, man, just get a job then, you know what I'm saying, to make yourself become better. If it's on the financial part, or you feel like you don't have a purpose or anything to do, but you got idle time, you know what I'm saying? Or you know, sometimes you may have to take that position that you don't want to get to the one that you need. Or to be able to work your way up to the one that you feel like you want to get. I've had that happen to me. It's funny where I'm ending up, man. Like, I started out just trying to service machines, you see what I'm saying, in my department and with my skill. But I got some intelligence to myself. Now, that don't mean I didn't have a bag of tricks of what I could do. Then I went from that to, like I say, working the IV department, But when I worked the IV department, man, I was looking at this TPN compounding machine and was like, I don't really know how to use that like that. That looked kind of difficult, breaking that machine down and cleaning it, and how they read, you know what I'm saying, all the inputs of what they putting into that bag. I just know how to make a standard bag, meaning I know how to hook up to the tubes that let the fluid go through, and I know how to press the computer for standard. Next thing you know, I learned how to do the TPN. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So then went from that to doing some other things, processing inventory. But taking a position, you see what I'm saying, that let's just say that wasn't the highest position. I ended up learning and building up to, you know, all of them pretty much. Now I know how to do everything. But that made me a better person because I'm able to see from the inside out. I'm able to ease my way on into that. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily be forced into the situation. And then I took that knowledge from that and went to a whole different location and facility, and boom, now we're in the money. You know, you're in the money. You can charge for this skill. Right. You see?
I got a question real quick. Lon Layla says, so do you think I need to get outside? Because when I do, my energy be strong. It's like I've never been outside. Do you think that's nature is healing? So
yes, but it depends on where you go, because there's a lot of stress outside right about now, and the heat can be stressful. Exactly. Right. And the rain can make people grumpy. You know what I'm saying? But
I like the rain.
I don't mind the heat. I love the heat because I'm gonna get out there and sweat.
I don't like the heat.
Cuts. Like I'm going to the park and getting that fresh air. But fresh air, I would recommend, always helps. Even if you got to go outside on the deck, if you just got to go outside of your house or your apartment, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just walk to get some fresh air. Try to distance yourself sometimes. Silence is golden. You know what I'm saying? You may not want everybody to be in your business right about now or giving you input. But yeah, and to me, sunlight, I love the sunlight. So fresh air and the sunlight.
Vitamin D good for you.
Yeah, I done got slow roasted out there a little bit. You see what I'm saying? I got a glow to myself. That sun put that glow on you. So definitely, and that should definitely make you feel good about yourself. You know what I'm saying? I feel great when I sweat the impurities out of my system, and I feel rejuvenated. You know what I'm saying? And I can see that the sun has kissed me. You know what I'm saying? Where I look golden, like you flipped over a piece of bacon out of this bitch. So yeah, I'm gonna get a little bit crispy, a little bit rotisserie. You know, it's a rotisserie this summer, man. I'm gonna be outside a little bit, soak up this fresh air.
Outside, when you go in the right areas and the right places, can definitely be a healing process. Can definitely make you feel better. But it's all in where you go and who you and what you do when you're out there. You know, some people like take their shoes off, walk in the grass. Let their feet walk in the grass and feel nature for itself. But what we don't realize is that when we're enclosed in walls all the time, it's depressing. It can depress us. We don't realize how much depression it can be just to be enclosed in the walls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Getting outside is a good thing. Even if it just go for a drive for a second and just maybe let the windows down, let the air blow through, it's a good thing. I don't necessarily let the air blow through because it's too hot. I hate hot weather. I'm not going to even pretend like summer is great. I don't like anything over 70. It's just not for me. But that's just me. But outside can be a great thing, especially if you know that your energy, that you feel so much stronger when you do it. Do more of that. You get what I'm saying? Right? Like it's like you exercising those. You know it makes you feel better. You're going to do more of that, right? If that makes you feel better, if it makes you feel strong, I'm always going to do what makes me feel better and more of it if I can. So yes, I agree.
Okay, so I'm writing down that 5 that you told me you wanted me to do before we get up out of here. But all right, so this is kind of funny, but if you second guessing yourself and doubting yourself, draw back from it. A lot of times I'm into premonitions nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And foresight, insight as well. And it's like a lot of times when you second guess yourself, it's kind of like you don't even want to do it. But now, if it's something that you know how to do and you've done it before, then that's the one where I was like, man, just take those chances, you know what I'm saying, or do those hard things. But when I say second guessing, if it's something that you feel like you probably ain't gonna accomplish it and you wasting your time, and you be like, you know what, I never should have started, I never should have tried that, I wasted my time, I was right from the beginning. That kind of second guessing and, you know what I'm saying, intuition, then yeah, just draw back from it.
Seeing things before they happen.
Because and this is how I look at certain things too, like I don't have a certain amount of curiosity anymore. I kind of drew back on being curious and nosy. What up, Big Zach? Grind time up in that thing. But I drew back from the curiosity because sometimes you better off either not knowing. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to a story on that real quick too. But and then it's like you can't miss what you never had, or if you didn't know it in the first place. Like a lot of times, if I don't check a voicemail, I guess I don't miss nothing. I never knew you called. I mean, you know, something similar to that. But man, you know, when you, like I say, when I say, but never checking, not caring or whatever, or not putting like, you know what I'm saying, the emphasis on it. It's like sometimes you can block it, you know what I'm saying, block your blessings or block basically being a better person if you're gonna focus too much on it. And remember when I was telling you you can like speed past something because it's persistent, consistent thinking. Backing off of that a little bit, you know what I'm saying, and just letting it be.
Let it be, okay.
You know, I'm more on that now.
So you're not trying to prevent it from happening. You just gonna see what happens and let it be, whatever it may be.
Well, you know, the intuition, like I say, back off of it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go forward with it, then 9 times out of 10 you've wasted that time. But if you back off of it and let it be, you're gonna be like, I was right. A lot of times it'll put yourself in that situation where you could be like, it's an I told you so situation. But I think always being able, like, let's say, to dodge an issue or a problem or to save yourself time can make yourself better.
Okay.
Because 9 times out of 10, if you're doubting it and second guessing it and you tried and you don't accomplish it, you're not going to feel better about yourself or happy.
Okay.
All right, those 5 things that you told me, you know, as far as to mention that I would suggest that I'm kind of doing to make myself feel better, or I would suggest for, you know what I'm saying, others to possibly do. Exercising is definitely the top on the list. I'm kind of glad I'm doing it now because it's actually letting me realize my limitations.
Okay.
It's letting me realize my age.
Okay.
Certain things I won't do.
Okay.
You don't understand that until you start doing the exercise.
Okay.
You need to push yourself sometimes to understand how far you can go. Let's just say I can run, bro, but I don't feel the same running like I do when I was young.
Okay.
And
I get that.
You won't know that unless you start exercising. But I feel good afterwards. But let's just say you'll flatline yourself, bro, if you go out there in the heat and you just take off
100% going at 100% full throttle
and not understanding where your body is at this age and time.
Okay.
So definitely, like I say, the exercise and makes me a better person. Believe it or not, shop, man. Buy yourself something. Do something for yourself.
Okay.
Pay yourself. You are working to pay everybody else, to pay for every responsibility that you have.
Right.
So why not buy something for yourself?
Right.
Doesn't that obviously make you happy? Most people ain't happy because they paying a bill. They just like, hey man, I'm, you know, accomplished enough to do it. But they ain't popping no bottle behind it. Like, hey man, let me show you this bill I just paid. Check it out. I'm wearing it. Or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking this bill to the club for me.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? When they try to talk to you, you just show them your bills.
Right.
All right, we're not collecting bills, are we? We going bill for bill?
Okay.
Where your bill at? Let me show you my. All right, so shop. Make yourself a little bit happy.
Okay.
All right. Teach somebody or help them. That I feel like always makes me better.
Okay.
Me. It makes me happy.
Okay.
It makes me purposeful.
Okay.
I spend time in nature. Preferably for me, the sun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care about no cold days. Although I do like a nice fall, autumn night, kind of chilly where you can make a fire or whatever, but I ain't trying to be, you know what I'm saying, snot and all this other stuff, cold, shivering. Don't care too much about them rainy days, but spend some time in nature, man. Get some fresh air. Definitely get some sunlight. I think that makes people happy, a better person, yeah. Because most of the time, if you're spending some time in nature, you're doing something, you know what I'm saying, like a picnic, or you're doing something that you're trying to enjoy yourself or have some entertainment with. What was that? The fourth one, and the fifth one. Like I said, I started off with it, man. Assess yourself, because if you assess yourself, you're gonna start understanding. Basically, it's knowledge of self. Right. Knowledge of self is enough said to those that understand. Because now you're gonna pick yourself apart and build yourself back together again. So there we have it, man. You got 5 labs?
I do. First Slick says, try doing something that makes you uncomfortable as well.
Damn. That's gonna bring me stress.
Layla says, I've been there and done that. I'm on chill. I'm trying this summer. Okay. My 5 things are first, number 1 is put yourself first. Always put yourself first, because you don't want to realize when you get older that you've been putting all these other people first and ain't none of them around. So you got to put yourself first. You got to make sure that you're happy first, and you got to do things that you want to do. You are first. You are the utmost important person in the room is yourself, because if you're not happy, you can't make nobody else happy. So you got to make sure that you are 100% okay with how you are feeling that day. And if you don't feel it that day, you don't do it that day. That's just the way it goes. Number 2, read more. I think reading opens up the imagination. It definitely educates you. It definitely expands your vocabulary. And it definitely makes you be able to have conversations about just about anything in the room that you want to have a conversation about without looking. You may not know a lot about it, but you'll know a little bit about it. You know, without
you can relate to something.
Yeah, without looking dumb about the conversation. So I say read is a very good thing. I put that at number 2. And the order I'm putting these things in is the order that I want them in. There's no.
Boy. Yeah, okay. I like your number 1. Your number 1 is the reason we're having the show. That's the topic of the show, pretty much.
Number 3 is journal. You got to get them thoughts out. You got to get what you're thinking out, ideas, anything that you are feeling that day. Open that journal book up and write it down. Now you're not going to write every day. That's just not going to happen. But when you are feeling a certain type of way, sometimes journaling can be like your counselor, and you could get some things out and write some things down. Go back and look at it a couple of days later and maybe say to yourself, no, I was tripping that day. You get what I'm saying? You have to get this stuff out your mind, man. You have to deplete these things, because if you just let them stay on your mind for a very long time, they can be cancerous and they can cause issues, not just mental issues, but physical and health-wise issues as well. Number 4, exercise. I don't do number 4 as much as I used to, but when I did exercise, the clarity that I gained from it, the things that used to bother me before I exercised, and once I got really into it, 2 and 3 hours a day, every day, those things didn't bother me as much. My mind was clearer when I exercised. It was just a lot of things I didn't care about when I exercised. And try to eat better. Number 5 is eating better. Try to not. It's going to be difficult. We are so used to doing so many things, and we don't really realize that they become habits. But you have to deplete certain things here and there, and then you'd be surprised how much you don't want them anymore.
I was about to say, like, I think maybe I might do a episode on dispelling the myths of certain things that's difficult, because believe it or not, eating healthy ain't difficult. Now it might be expensive, like Slick was saying, but you'd be, like you said, you'd be surprised after a while what you don't miss when you take it out your diet. Sometimes you just introduced to it, or your parents may have just put it on you before they started weaning it out of their diet, and now you still eat it. But definitely, man, like, it's a lot of things you could actually go without and substitute for either some fruits or vegetables, or just not have to have, or maybe some oatmeal or something. But yeah, we'll get on that. And I you know what I'm saying, I like your 5 lab. I appreciate everyone for tuning in, man. I hope y'all learned something. I definitely did, man. I think this episode made me a little bit better, man.
Me too. So, Layla, I love you. Always welcome to come down here and join us and chill out with us. You don't even have to be on camera. You could be in the background yelling stuff out. We good with that. We've had people done that before, but you family, you always welcome to come down and Misfits Radio TV and chill out with us. Go ahead, though. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to start saying that number to call in, even though people don't. But I'm gonna start saying that from now on, because some people probably might actually call in after we say it enough times. You know what I'm saying? Because so we'll do that next episode.
That phone number is live and loaded.
Yeah,
all you gotta do is dial them 10 digits, and you get right through to those.
And people will be able to hear you, and so will I. So
most
you know
definitely.
What I'm saying? If you want to say something, sometimes y'all comments that I read back, you know what I'm saying, actually is something y'all should be saying, you know what I'm saying, can be heard. Then you can have a conversation and get more off your chest. But with that being said, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. We're going to do this thing again next Monday. We out. Dosed up.
Yeah. Grams leaders CC's pounds. Close gap, close call, close encounter, close up, pounds of leaders of grams, get your dosed up, cut this up, post up, and get dosed up. This for them voted like the moving, make the most of. Monday night at 8, I can't wait to set you straight. These opinions and debates for them folk that can't relate. I gotta elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that deaf, dumb, and blind. And I ain't hard to find, you can catch me in no trenches. I do the groundwork and I ain't waiting on no sense. I be touching on them topics politicians feel